Welcome back to Your Health Matters. My guest today is Dr. Kenneth Jackson. It's great to have you on the show. I'm enjoying talking with you, Dr. Jackson.
Thank you.
Hearing more about your story. We were talking earlier before the break about obstetrics and how it's both rewarding and there's some major scary parts to that too.
When I think about it, and a lot of times I'll be going home at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'll look up at the sky and I'll identify the one constellation I recognize, which is Orion.
Uh-huh.
And it's just, I know it's not like, there's a lot of people that can do this job, but this job here, that's the job I'm doing, and it makes me feel good. It draws from a lot of different skills.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of emotional stuff that you're taking care of a patient that you never quite feel like you're totally in control of, which is different than some other aspects of medicine. And you're taking care of patients that are very vulnerable.
Right.
And are transitioning and crossing into a really wonderful time in their life if you
Right.
just can help get them there.
Yeah.
But there's one reason I go down to the canyon, because there's nobody down there to do prenatal care. We deliver those girls up here, and so that's important to me. And sometimes you can find some really significant things bad things are getting ready to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I go to Peach for the same reason, although they're closer and they can come in here easily. But
Right, because Supai, they're pretty much in and out by horseback or helicopter or foot.
I had a girl just like 3 weeks ago that she was going to come out for her repeat C-section.
Mm-hmm.
And in the winter, the helicopter only goes on Fridays and Sundays.
Oh,
and
so you got to plan your deliveries.
Yeah, and I was going to operate on her on Friday, but she couldn't have made it here in time on Friday, and so she was literally going to take a horse at 39 weeks pregnant with previous cesarean sections. She was going to ride a horse out on Thursday to do the surgery on Friday. And surgery doesn't like elective cases on Saturdays, but I called them and they bought into this one.
Yeah.
So she flew out on Friday and we operated on her on Saturday.
Oh, very good. Healthy baby and mom.
Yeah, and it's those kind of problems and the logistics of that
Right.
that it's nice to be a part of that, of the solution of that.
Yeah.
I think the signature event of my practice life, I know, is an obstetrical case, and it was like 3.5, 4. It was 4.5 years ago.
Okay.
I think it was 2007, and it's a Friday afternoon. I remember it forever. It's a Friday afternoon. It's about 12:30, and they called me and they told me a woman was coming in a full code arrest, and she was 38 weeks pregnant, 39 years old.
Oh my.
And so I came over to the ER, and there's chaos. She'd just gotten in. She'd been down in the field for 6, 7, 8 minutes, and the EMTs brought her in, and so I went into the room there, and everybody, I mean, they're doing CPR on her, and they're pushing drugs on her, and there's 4 or 5 people running around, and they have a bucket of instruments there, and they had an ultrasound. I grabbed it and spent about 30 seconds looking. I really couldn't tell if there was much of a heartbeat in the baby, and so I just took a scalpel and I opened her, and while they're still doing CPR, and I opened her up and took the baby out, and about 10 minutes later, I heard that baby cry.
Wow.
So they had saved the baby. The mother died.
Yeah.
She had a heart attack.
Yeah, I remember that.
Everybody does.
Yeah, yeah.
They flew the baby down to Phoenix, and then the baby came back 15 days later with completely neurologically intact,
Right.
which is a miracle in
Yeah,
itself.
Yeah.
At 4 months, the grandmother, the father's mother, came in and brought the baby.
Oh.
And we had a little tearful reunion in the office, and then I took her to the ER, and I showed her where her daughter-in-law came in, where she was operated on, and all the ER people remembered. And
Right.
then at Christmas a couple years ago, I got a Christmas card. They had moved back to the Ozarks,
Oh.
and I got a Christmas because there were 2 other kids in that family and the father, Christmas card from the grandmother that said no brain damage in this baby. and then the following, and then last summer, not this one, but the summer before this, I got a big portfolio of pictures of this little redheaded boy.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so those events, which were a comatose mother being operated on the ER, when I started to do that case, I kind of went into this zone because it's almost the exact scenario that I'd written for the book 8 or 9 years before.
I remember, yeah.
So that chapter 1 of the book
Yeah.
was written 8 or 9 years before that happened to me.
But it was pretty
And they're very similar.
similar.
I mean, comatose mother and a unborn baby.
Yeah,
So some of the other circumstances are not, but
right.
and I tried to think of what would be the most when I created that chapter, what would be the most dangerous, difficult, disconcerting, life-threatening event that could happen, and that's tragedy in childbirth.
Right.
I mean, we're just you're on the edge of what's the best and the worst.
And the worst, or it could be the worst, right?
Yes.
But Ken, I have to say that, one of the reasons I think that you have been acknowledged in many different ways, and I know you're a very modest person and don't like bragging about all this stuff, but you've been named Country Physician of the Year. You just recently received Patient Choice Award recognition, and that's because you do care, and it's very visible to your patients. They know that. Yeah, you do make a difference.
It's an emotional business, and it's. I would say that I would say when I grew up, not knowing I was going to be in medicine, but I did grow up with a mother, 2 parents, mother and father,
Yeah.
but they impressed upon me that you treat people with kindness and respect, and if you can have a job where you get to do that made it all the better for me, and it's and this is a perfect job for me.
Yeah.
I feel I love the community. I love the hospital. The administration has done unbelievable job in the last 20 years of taking us up to. I was talking to our CFO yesterday. I said, something, there are a lot of elite people here. We try to give an elite product, and it's because of administration, number one, and number two, the key physicians have been able to get in, and then to be connected the way we are with Mayo Clinic is a pretty amazing thing for a little nonprofit community hospital in Kingman, Arizona.
Yeah, we were just talking about that last week with Mike Ross, Environmental Services, and how proud we both are, and I know pretty much all the employees at KRMC are, the fact that we were chosen basically by Mayo, that they watched us, they've done their homework, we did our homework with them too, but they saw the similarities in culture, and the fact that our basic manifest, if you would, are similar. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's a very we first went down there about 3 years ago. I remember 8 of us flew down to talk to them, and I don't think any of us really ever thought or dreamed it would
go to this extent.
It would come to this point. But I think that I think we can back it up. I think we can. I just think we can back that up, and it's because of those two things. It's because of this pervasive attitude from administration, backed up by the physicians,
Right.
that patient comes first.
Yeah, right. And
Patient comes first.
And it's one of those things. It's exponential growth, because once you got that core team, both administrative but the physicians as well, and then it starts drawing more like-minded. Mike and I were talking about that too. How just recently we've had like 4 or 5 new directors that have come from all parts of the country to join our team, and
Really?
they've kind of checked us out and went, I think I'd like to be a part of that. That's pretty cool.
It's a very good. All along, I think, and I've been involved in the recruiting process for this, for first my practice and then the hospital for all 20 years. It feels like I've been recruiting people since when I first got here. I was so busy that I knew I was.
You needed help.
I knew.
More
I knew
doctors.
immediately. I made that decision within a few weeks. I says I need more help. But it's just, it is. It's a. wonderful place to be, and it's. I mean, I walk through the hospital with pride.
That's cool.
The attitude is really up, and it's there's a very strong core of physicians that are, and it allows us to recruit. Recruit
even more.
Even more. Yeah.
Well, I've so enjoyed having you on the program. Time goes so quick when we start talking. Thank you for being here. I hope you all learned a little bit today and that you'll join us again next week. We'll have another amazing guest. And thanks for being with us today.